All right. Welcome to a new series of Wild Things in Wild Places, the Muley Fanatic Foundation podcast. Yeah, this is a different voice than you're used to hearing. I'm Joey Faigl, the now president CEO of MFF. And today we are working as a team to facilitate the podcast. So I have my two partners in crime, Steffen and Janet Crofts. Chris, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, Steffen, Director of Operations for the Muley Fanatic Foundation.
Janet Crofts, Ops Manager for Muley Fanatic Foundation.
So if you're not aware, I guess if you listen to the podcast quite often, or you have learned that Joshua Corsi has moved off to big things in Washington, D.C., to work under the Trump administration. So he has left the organization, and we still are not sure what position he's doing, but I'm sure that announcement will come out within the next couple weeks or so, we're assuming. But we debated whether we should continue the podcast or not. If we were to, who would host it, who would lead it, and with discussions within the office, we decided why not all three of us as a team take on this piece and have some fun with it. And we have a lot of great ideas that we want to do with this, a lot of great subjects to talk about, and majority of it's going to be about mule deer, about conservation, about hunting, and the organization itself and what's going on. We'll continue to talk about what's going on with the organization, some upcoming things that will be occurring. But what are your thoughts, Chris, on, I don't know, doing this podcast and where we should move forward with it?
Obviously, I think I've only been on 2 podcasts since we started Wild Things in Wild Places. So this is definitely new for me. And I think that we can take this a little bit different direction than what it was, maybe a little more humor, or not to say it wasn't humorous before, but just, I think, adding a little bit of different dimension to what the podcast was before. Yeah, I think it'll be cool.
Yeah, I think it'll be a new fun addition as far as the tasks that we do.
Yeah.
And it'll be a nice break from getting away from some of the other things that we do. And I really don't listen to any podcast, to be honest with you. So I don't even know really what to do with the direction.
With your hands?
Yeah.
I never know what to do with my hands.
Yeah. So
where to look.
Yeah. This is all new to me. I'm familiar with audio and video stuff, but I'm no radio host. I'm really not all that great in front of a mic, but I think this can be a good experience. And like you said, I think we could have some great fun with it. So what are your thoughts, Janet?
Same. I've been on the one podcast when we first started. So definitely not something that I'm familiar with either, but I think it'll be fun. I mean, before we're laughing till I was crying about stuff. So I think we'll have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, I think we'll come up with some great ideas and find some good guests to participate. I think it'll go really well. I am excited about it. It's just learning all this crap and that to try and make sure that the listeners can have a good quality podcast.
Exactly.
Becoming the CEO, there's a lot of tasks that have to be added to my plate. Josh took on a big chunk of the politics side. I'm not too very interested in that field, but
it's a necessary evil. Let's put it that way.
It is necessary, yes. But I think the plan we have with a lot of that, Chris has taken a lot of the work of that side of things too. So I don't have to tackle it all, which, because of your experience and everything as former chief of police, and you've dealt with a lot of the legislation and stuff like that. So I really very thankful that your willingness to do that it's just awesome. But I don't feel any different in a different label. I still do what I've been doing. It just has those additional things and just having to lead some of the other stuff. But like we've all talked, this is a team effort, and that's the way it's going to be. We can have whatever label we want under our name, but we still are going to take on whatever we need, share the tasks that need to be taken on, and it's just a label, and you have to have that label for an organization, and I'm just the person that took it. And as co-founder, I guess it's fitting that I be that person. But it's not a whole lot of extra stress or anything like that. I think just the beginning, just the transition and the changes that have occurred in the last month or so. I think we're just about there to be on track for things, and we got the ball rolling, really. No, I'm looking forward to just continuing on to do what we do, and CEO is not going to change anything that I've been doing. So, anything else?
And this is our first podcast.
Well, I guess I would say that I've been here since 2017. I knew you before I came to work here. And what excites me the most is that you are a true mule deer fanatic. You've obviously, through this foundation, where you guys started as an MDF chapter for 5 years and all the fundraising you did for that organization. The one thing that always I guess, always stuck with me, or always seems to remind me every time we have a new venture come up or anything else, is that you're always just so focused on mule deer, highlighting, showcasing mule deer, how they live, their world, their struggles. You go out and you film them during the winter. So many things you do that I never doubt for a second that's your true passion, is mule deer. So I'm super excited. I don't want to speak for Janet, but I just feel like we're going to be just fine because of that passion. I know, like you mentioned, me stepping in up a little bit with the legislative things and that type of stuff. That's not anything that I've ever done here, but it's something I'm very passionate about. It gets me fired up, probably too fired up, and that's just my personality, but I'm glad to take on that role and help where I can. But yeah, for me, it's just that from you as the new CEO president, I don't come in every day and look at you differently. I just look at you as that same passionate guy that I think is going to just continue to drive this organization forward. So
thanks for that. Yeah. If it wasn't there, I wouldn't even still be here, honestly. I do love mule deer. I have for a long time, and it's just something very important to preserve. And I want everyone's grandkids, not only just mine, but to experience what I did. I would love to bring back the populations the way you used to be. I'd talk about the 90s, which is similar to the old guys that talk about the 60s. I would love to bring back that time period. Will it ever? I don't know, but I guess that's just something that's been set in my mind to work towards. Yeah, I love them. They're just, when I'm out on the winter and I'm filming them, I just get chills all the time and just everything. Yeah, love them to death. But
yeah, and I'll just echo exactly what Chris said. Your passion is just amazing. I've been here 5 years, and crazy to think in 5 years, but it's just working with you and all the ideas you have and just the passion. It's beyond anything I've ever experienced before from someone. So I'm super excited about where we're going, all the projects we're going to be doing, just all the things we're involved in. Just your leadership is beyond. I'm super excited about it, though.
We have a great team, and I know there's going to be a lot of great things happening, working together. So looking forward to all that. And speaking of which, we do have a few things coming up, but we'll get in more details on that in a later podcast. We're going to try and set a schedule to a lot of where the team can go out and participate in projects and that. We do have some fawn captures coming up. We're going to participate in that with Kevin Monteith and his team at the Monteith shop. So I'm looking forward to doing that. It's just going to be nice for us to get out a day or two during a week and out of the office and get away from the computers and all that jazz. And I think we just need to make that a habit, and it's going to be fun. I think it'll make things a little more enjoyable and not being stuck in a chair all day or whatever else that we have to do at a daily basis. Well, that's just some of our plans. And then Janet's taking on a great event, a women's only event. We'll still have to come up with a name for that, but she's leading a good committee to put together a fundraiser for women only. And this has just been an idea that's been tried and thrown around for the last couple of years, and I think it's going to be pretty cool. And September 13th, that's why men won't be there, because they'll be hunting. That's what ladies do, is I'm not going to say anything more than that.
Better watch where you go with that one.
Yeah. So we have that, the film festival with Weatherby on August 1st. That I'm really excited about that. I'm looking forward to hopefully get Nick Duncombe's with 495 Films. He did a great video with Anna's Hunt. Went back to Ohio and got all her daily things videoed, and that was an awesome film. I can't wait to showcase that. Hopefully they get it in there. We have other plans if not, but
Yeah. No, Nick did a great job and definitely, I think, showcased what her life is like on a daily basis. And the hunt obviously is a cool experience for all of us, but yeah, fingers crossed that Weatherby allows that to be in their film festival, and we'll get to take them up there, and it'll be a cool event regardless.
And they're doing stuff differently, right? Because they're going to have food trucks and open up the main street, correct?
Yeah. So I don't know if we should be talking about this in too much depth since they haven't even released it. I mean, whenever this podcast come out, sorry, Holter at Weatherby. But yeah, what the heck? So yeah, the info that we've gotten so last year was our first year there. It was, I think, the second time they've had the film festival, but they really changed things up from the first year to last year. Had, 6 different conservation organizations that are operating in Wyoming. Certainly not all of the conservation organizations that do work here, but we were one of those. We had a booth inside the theater in downtown Sheridan, as did the other conservation organizations, and Weatherby was gracious to donate a rifle to all of us that we could use however we wanted to raise funds. So that was great. They're doing basically the same thing this year, but yeah, moving us outside, blocking off streets, and kind of sounds like it's making it into kind of a little all-day festival type thing, which I think will be cool as long as it doesn't rain or hail or something like that. Snow,
yeah.
Possible.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be cool. Yeah, and then cap it off with all the films. So should be a great event.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun. In case anyone's listening that's unaware, this film is with Ana Rodriguez. She was a hunt from last fall with our Putting the U in Hunt program, where we take youths between the ages of 12 and 20 on hunts that have life-threatening or terminal illnesses.
Our cornerstone program, really.
Yeah.
It's definitely the coolest thing we do every year. Always look forward to getting the kids here, meeting new families, new kids, and just sharing that experience with them. We always say it's like the best thing we do. So,
and then we'll finish off the year with our annual Cowboy Christmas Ball, which Janet did get some good entertainment. We'll have the dueling pianos again at this event, and it's in the 1980s theme. So just everything that's associated in the 80s as far as Christmas-wise and stuff. It'll be cool. Cool to just put some of that stuff together that's associated with the 80s. I think it'll be fun to organize and put things together for that. But a lot of good stuff, and I guarantee there's going to be more coming out pretty soon because we just think of some great stuff sitting in the office and not talking about things.
You'll just have to come so you can see what outfits we're wearing. The 80s.
Oh, I'm not wearing some outfit. Hell, I probably still have all of it at my house. I live in the 80s still.
You can wear a robe, white robe.
Why a robe?
Yeah, isn't that what Cousin Eddie?
Oh.
That's what he wore with his boxers and his muck boots, I think it was. And then
what's the time frame of that movie? Like
Christmas Vacation?
Yeah,
I think it came out in late 80s.
I know, but is that the time frame of when the actual, when the movie is supposed to be? The time frame of the actual movie?
Oh.
Because it always seems like that's like an older, maybe I'm off. I don't know.
We'll have to look that up.
Yeah, we'll look at it. But it is associated with Christmas.
Yeah. I'm not wearing a robe. I might wear that leisure suit, skin tight, because he's bulging. He's a large, bulging man.
I think you should do that. What's that uncle's name? Has the big cigar and the toupee. What is his name? Because you could do the perfect, all right.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah.
We won't put you in that, Chris. We'll think of some other things.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be a cool event. As far as everything else, I would say any listeners that are wanting to hear something or whatever, or us talk about something, to reach out to the office at 307 875-3133 and give us some ideas of what they may want to listen to on this podcast. We'd be willing to look at things and do whatever. They are the listeners, and we could put together whatever stuff, but I think we could come up with some cool shit.
Yeah, definitely.
Talk about the calendar.
Oh, yeah. How can I forget the calendars? Is what I've been working on the last few days as far as design-wise. Yeah, our annual calendar raffle, as everybody knows, it's the gun calendar. We are going to try and shoot that off here soon in the middle of June. Hopefully this podcast, it should be out prior to when these are launched. But we got some new things with that. Weatherby has partnered with us. Chris did a great job on working with Coulter Weatherby and has a huge lineup of Weatherby rifles. The only other brand that we have in here are Seekin Precisions. We have 4 of those for special holidays.
There's
6
spread out throughout the calendar.
Yeah. And then we are going to have 12 random packages that's associated with hunting gear and that. Maven Optics, hunting gear, either be apparel or backpacks. Exo Mountain, their packs are tremendous. We have a combination of their packs with some other optics. Allin has been fantastic in donating some of their products with their snapshot spotter system. Vortex Optics, they got us some good stuff. So we have some fantastic packages, one in every month. So that's 12 total. We did add an additional package, though, to Weatherby. Camila has a women's apparel, Kuyo apparel. We just added that on there. Just it was fitting with that rifle. Once again, it'll be 3,500 calendars. We'll sell them at $100 a piece. Once they're sold out, that's it. And you could buy as many as you like, hopefully 10, 20, 50, 100. And you get to be entered into every single drawing during that year. So I think it's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, I know. I was just going through the kind of the mock-up calendar and just looking at everything. And man, I mean, can't go wrong with all Weatherby firearms, predominantly all bolt action. Obviously, they don't make pistols. And kind of some of the reason why I wanted to go this direction. And sadly, we always have pistols in our gun calendar, and it's just becoming more and more frequent that somebody from the state of California wins one, or somebody, there's some other states too, where it's just not, it's a prohibited firearm due to the capacity of the magazine or whatever it is. So it just gets to be problematic. Not saying we won't maybe incorporate pistols back in at some point, at least a few, but anyway, these are all predominantly bolt action Weatherby rifles, a few shotguns, obviously the Seekin Precision, all PH3s. It's a great lineup. I don't know. It's impressive, I think.
Yeah, this is a great change up, I think. We're always up for new ideas and changing things up, and I think this is a great change.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how it goes, and hopefully folks are impressed with what's in there and participate in the raffle. Just one calendar gets you into all the drawings. We haven't totaled them all up yet because we're still editing it, so who knows how many guns and how many different drawings we'll have for 2026. But and then Matt Gusdorf Photography, he donated 14 of his photos of mule deer, and they're fantastic photos. So we have those in addition for as far as each month goes. And
yeah, so maybe the biggest change from last year is that these will all be hard printed copies.
Yeah.
No more digital. We gave it a whirl. It worked for some folks, and others, they wanted a calendar to pin up on the wall or wherever they keep it at their office. And yeah, we went back to we will go back to the hard printed calendars. And I think that's the main thing, is going back to those.
And Janet takes care of all those. She's the one that has to insert the multiple number of calendars into an envelope and get them shipped out. And we gave it a shot last year just to ease that load off of her for doing that stuff. But
in the end, it didn't.
Yeah, it didn't. Yeah, it ended up being more work for you. Yeah, I think it was just, that was the best decision, is to go back to the printed copy. And fantastic that our local UPS store in Rock Springs, Wyoming's taking on that print job and giving us a really good price break on it. So kudos to them. They've been fantastic with us. So anything you have on that calendar?
No, you've touched on everything. So
I'm glad we're starting this podcast back up, and hopefully folks will enjoy the direction we're going with it. And we're going to have some fun with this. But again, if anyone has any ideas, please reach out to us at our office at 307-875-3133, or you can shoot an email to joey@muleyfanatic.org, Janet at muleyhq.org, or Chris at muleyhq.org. Throw us some ideas, and we'd be willing to try and make that happen. Anything else?
Excited for the future.
Awesome.
So am I.
I knew you could.
So I couldn't resist. There's just some little effects on this thing that I discovered, and we've been having fun with it prior to starting this recording. But
I know one thing. You're going to have to figure out how to get those on these two mics because
yeah, I know.
I don't have the button. I don't have access to the buttons.
I
Is
know.
there a boo on there?
Yeah, there is some other stuff, but we'll play around and have some fun with this stuff. But yeah, we appreciate everyone that's supporting the Muley Fanatic Foundation and this podcast. Thank you to all the listeners, and we look forward to putting on a bunch more. Yeah, this is going to be fun. So thank you, everybody, and I guess we better get back to our office work and
Regularly scheduled
scheduled
program.
program. All right, thanks.